Pickaxe.
Did you know that our Patreon is free? Yes, free. Patreon.com/castparty now has a free tier available to show your support for the show, which also grants you access to our private community Discord. The cast and crew is an incredibly active and wholesomely aggressive community that hosts regular TTRPG games together, game nights, hangouts, and so much more. If you'd like some extra bonus goodies like behind-the-scenes info, exclusive monthly one-shots, and even more fun, consider supporting the show with one of our paid tiers at patreon.com/castparty. Our Patreon allows us to continue bringing you the highest quality D&D content that we possibly can. But we are honored to be one of the first Patreons with a free tier option for those who want to show some love. So go on, get going, it's free. I mean literally free. We'll see you over on the Discord. As always, thank you all so much for listening. Enjoy the episode, cast and crew.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Fables of Fendraeya, Wyldacre. My name is Jose Polino, or at DM Jose P, and other fun socials will probably be changing soon, and I will be your director for today. I am joined, of course, by my lovely cast and crew of traumatized yet bubbly, fun creatures. We'll begin with Ryan.
Hi, Ryan McManus. I'll be playing Fiffin, the Maker Taker Hater Satyr. You can find me on my personals at rye.mcmanus or running the Cast Party socials at Cast Party D&D.
Next we have Nigel.
Hello, Nigel Deacon playing Pond, your favorite froggy friend, hopefully finding a future family. You can find me at Nigel Sucks LMAO at every social that matters. On, at, whatever.
And we have Betty.
Hello, my name is Betty, and I play Quinn the Mighty Owlin, who is as righteous as she is small. You can find me at hoot.the.lovely on TikTok and Instagram.
And finally, we have Seth.
Hi everybody, I'm Seth. I am playing Cheese the Dog, eternal good boy of the spotless mind, and you can find me on TikTok at Noctopus and on Instagram and Threads at knock.topus.
So the last time we met, all of you encountered this archdevil by the name of Osmond that seemed to be very aware of your situation, but also seemingly battling this duality within themselves, but definitely interested in having you guys help them in retrieving this broken piece of veil that would help you get to the Nightwell Fortress, the domain of sorts of this miraculous yet very obscure and hidden archfey. As you began your journey, you were given a golden thread that through this vast infinite space that is essentially space itself, defying all laws of gravity and matter and physics, Quinn, you were handed this, or you picked it up, and you were led on somewhere deep within, where the archdevil knows of the location of this relic that you're looking for, but also not being able to help. With that, floating pieces of land comprised of many different planes of existence almost, grass and dirt and road and pavement, appeared before you and led you on a path straight ahead, as this black fog cloud obscured your vision, allowed you to see and sense your compatriots before you, and in your case, Quinn, to be able to see that golden thread, but the rest of you struggled with that. And so, one by one, you were all shifted into this moment in time, seemingly real yet not, but all with a purpose. Pond, you were sort of mocked and pushed by a friend, all to just return back home and see the struggle of your fellow frogs, or home as to what it is that you know it on in town. Cheese, you were following this couple, it seemed, a pregnant woman and a man that were sort of struggling, it seemed, with the delivery of this baby and these black tentacles, very familiar to you, but also now seeing them upon this other individual, reaching for the baby. Fiffin, you were in town presenting this glorious and beautiful treehouse upon the Tiempos tree, but everyone just shouting, "Omen, omen, omen." Quinn, yours almost seemingly in another time. A mother owl with a babe and just having to leave. Having that parent just disappear. And with that, we pick up where we left off. As Quinn, you see this motherly parental figure of an owl leave the willow tree. You are sort of observing this. You see the little babe, the mother leave, and you know this tree, you know it very well. This is home to you. But there is a coldness to it, a creeping sensation that comes over you, shivers at your feathers. And you just hear, "A mother vanished. Do you feel that emptiness inside urges you to carry on?" A voice, very low timbre, resonating in the back of your head that you can't put a face to, but it is very unlike the voice of seemingly the Archfey that you've heard before, or perhaps the voice of Osmond. This is something else.
I have town, my friends. I help people, that's why I carry on. Not this.
But this is a defining moment. Everything you choose to do from this point forward is in retaliation of the truth. You protect because you were not protected. You seek to help others as your wings spread out in the night. Alone.
What do you want?
I want to understand you. I want to know why creatures care. I want to know the purpose of raising a child, forming it, molding it into what you need it to be, while understanding deep down there's so much potential there. You and I share in a sentiment. We are disappointed by the decisions of our loved ones. You may not feel it, you may not share in it, but deep down inside, it festers within you.
I don't know who you are.
You will, in time. And I hope when that time comes, you will choose better. Cheese. You see the couple before you, now that Floor essentially was delivered. You watch as the clerics in the area are sort of attending to it, and just before that, the black tentacles that you're very familiar with rose from you and from the mouth of this individual in the direction of the baby. And then a familiar voice comes to you. I do not know what I seek. I do not know what my purpose is in all of this. Cheese, look at me. You turn around from the operating room into a very familiar makeshift home that you and your owner shared. But now, along the walls, there is a bed that has just been not made and unkept, with just all kinds of blankets and fabrics rolled up that just have not been taken care of. Paper sprawled out through the floor. Blades along the walls, piercing specific parchments with writings and scratches, but all very similar to that watchtower that you saw, but now in your home. And you see her pacing and looking. Make an investigation check for me, Cheese.
13.
When Marikar takes a parchment, she rips it from a blade from a wall and just begins to look at it. On her wrist, on the very face of it, there is that circle that has now been not necessarily tattooed on, but has been marked on her skin. You didn't really ever notice it before, but now in this moment it sort of comes to you like before, like these memories, these pieces of fragmented moments in reality that you can now sort of fixate on. And you see that same circle with the polished silver and red, but on the skin it just looks like a stamp. And she looks over to you. I don't think I've ever taken the time to tell you how much I appreciate you. I really do, Cheese. Come here, boy. Come here.
I run up to her.
You see her now very weak. She hasn't been really taking care of herself all that much. She's become fixated. Tunnel vision has taken a hold of her. And now that you see the paper has a drawing, sketches of sorts, of what looks like an O, and underneath that a line that forms and splits right underneath that O. And she just looks and she says, if I manage somehow to find the answers that I'm looking for, I will share in all of this with you, Cheese. I will. And you and me will live the rest of our days together.
I look at the circles just in their various forms, and then I look back up at her. And I think the first time I've ever actually, well, in this case, I've spoken to her. What are these circles? You're looking for answers. Answers to what?
You are speaking to her in a moment that you know was before you had the ability to speak. But in this moment, you're speaking. And without any hesitation, like a grin almost appears in her face, very sunken eyes, disheveled look. And she looks at you and she goes, I'm looking for a good omen. Fiffin, as you stand there on the square upon this stage, looking around at everyone, that same omen. There's no words coming out of all of the citizens of town. They're all just behaving in a very unnatural fashion. And the mayor looks to you. Now, Fiffin, come here. Grabs you by the shoulder, presses you in tightly, points out to the crowd. This can all be yours, Fiffin. Would you like to run town, Fiffin? Would you like to create things for everyone to better our lives? I think you could do that.
I think I could too, but I don't know about running it. I don't think I'm in a position to do that.
He has agreed!
Oh, god damn it.
And you watch as the mayor, as he hoists his hand up, all of the citizens raise their hands up as well, and all of them form them together as like a circle above their heads. Looks over to you, and the words that are coming out of his mouth are, and with that, let it be known, Fiffin. He's declaring something, but his same voice pierces through. You'd like to know, wouldn't you, what it would taste like, wouldn't you, Fiffin? To be recognized for your talents. Above all else, to be recognized.
I'm really glad you went that route because I thought we were talking about the baby at first. But yes, that's kind of what I crave, honestly. I know I can do so much, and I kind of feel limited here.
You are like me in many ways. You see now in the corner of your eye like a white light that begins to pulse. And it feels like when a sunset is setting and that light just catches your eye line perfectly and it just won't go away. But it's this white light coming from somewhere in the crowd.
Just block my hand up. It's like the light is just hunting for my eye. I don't know what that is. What is going on?
I can show you, Fiffin. I can show you how you can run this town. I can show you how you will be limitless.
That's all I've wanted. Something to be named after me, you know?
I've made so many things. I've helped so many people, and it's just I feel like everything's being taken for granted.
They have. They don't really care about your personality. They only care about what you bring to them. And you know what you bring to them, Fiffin?
I want to say comfort, but I don't think they see it like that.
Power. The power of your creations is unmatched. I like that. You remind me of my son. And I hated my son.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yep.
Pond. You find yourself again in the same empty river. And you can see Fiffin on the stage. You can see what looks like an owl now fly from the willow tree. Everybody apart from Cheese is technically in this moment now in town. What do you do?
Pond's recently traumatized, so I guess he'd approach the stage as best he can to try and support his friend and forget the bad stuff that's pointed towards him and just push out good stuff towards everyone else.
You walk up towards the stage. Fiffin, you don't notice this. You're sort of like in a trance between this light and everything. And Pond, you sort of now, as you kind of come around the corner because you have to walk down to get to the very front of the Antiempos tree, you see it now, almost like in the distance, like if somebody was holding a laser pointer, it seemed, or somebody just basically holding a very bright flashlight from the distance. It just feels ever looming, but it's just there, this white, shimmering light. And as you get up to the stage, you turn around and you see Fiffin there. But behind Fiffin is a giant. A very familiar giant. Who looks over and goes,
"Oh, now there you are, little one. There you are. May I offer you something?"
No, thank you. I'm just here to tell Fiffin congratulations.
Fiffin's fine. Fiffin's fine.
and you look over and Fiffin is now essentially standing on the stage, eyes white, almost like completely stagnant, with his head cocked over, similar light shimmering as that same white light that you've now seen.
What's wrong with him? Is he okay?
He's just a little fool is all.
This giant with a bald head, these runic tattoos that come from the head down to the neck and into the sort of beard. There is no hair, but it is almost like the tattoos act as a form of facial hair. Shirtless with a light vest that has just been torn, made up of different kinds of cloths and fabrics.
He is full. He has had plenty to eat today, and I think it's time for you to eat as well, don't you think, Pond?
I guess so. If it's a part of the celebration. Yeah, that sounds good.
Then I offer you this.
And you watch as the towering hand come down and open its palm, and in the center reveal a cream-filled pastry.
Thank you. I haven't seen one of these in however long it's been since I got here.
Pond, don't eat that! And you see now members of your tribe that make up the audience. If you put that in your mouth, so help me, Pond, you will show your hand to the others. Practice restraint.
No. All I did when I lived in the village was show restraint and follow your rules. I left so that I could become my own person.
And where is that taking you, boy?
To great places. I have amazing friends, and I've seen incredible things, and yeah, I got a little lost, and I miss a lot of you, but I am myself now. I know who I am. And I'll grab the donut, and I shove it right into my mouth.
You take the donut, you shove it in your mouth, and you begin to chew it, and it is flavorful and sweet, and the sugar sort of like kicks into you, and it's delicious. It's exactly as you remember it to be. And then members of your family amongst the crowd. You really are not one of us, Pond. You really are not one of us, boy. You hear a female voice in the distance. You enjoying the treat now? You continue to chew, and it still tastes very sweet. Until eventually, as you're chewing, there is like a hard texture that sort of begins to form in your mouth. And that sweetness begins to dissipate as your mouth sort of begins to not necessarily foam, but the pastry is almost like oozing out of your mouth. And there in the foam, the sugar, the cream, little bugs and crawlies and creatures. You are to follow the tribe. You are to stay in line. Indulge in what we approve upon. Relish in what we offer, but never what you choose.
That's where you're wrong. Look at all these treats that were inside the treat. How could this be a bad decision?
The fellow grung start laughing. Kid's got a point. Kid's got a point. A treat within a treat, right? Yeah, love treats. They are quite delicious. I wish I could have some myself. No! Everyone stays in line. And he will not. Find your own path, son. Do what you wish with it. You will bother me no more. Quinn, from the willow tree, what are you doing? If you look down, you see the same image of Fiffin, non-responsive, eyes rolled back, white, and then Pond on the floor, sprawled out with what looks like foam coming out of his mouth.
Oh no! Do I see the giant or no?
No, it's just the two of them.
Oh god. Okay, if I see them, they're my priority. My friends are my priority. I'm gonna fly down there. I'm gonna go to Pond first. He might be choking to death, and that's more problematic than just having, white eyes. So, sorry, Fiffin, okay. Love you, but you're not choking, so I'm gonna go to Pond first. And I'm just gonna shake him. I know he doesn't want I'm scared that he's... I just want to wake him up. I just want to wake him up.
I'll say that as you think to yourself to do this, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. You see before you the golden thread and the obscured path, but then it flashes with this vision of town.
Ooh, okay. So it's a 17 on the dice, plus 5 is a 22. And if I see it, I'm gonna try and grab it as I'm swooping down.
In this moment, you're battling staying focused while being present versus completely succumbing to what you're experiencing at the moment. So you are able to hold on to the golden thread as you feel yourself still sort of walking along the path. But you shoot down and you arrive at Pond. And Pond is not necessarily choking, it's just he looks frozen. Eyes rolled back with that same white look to them.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I'll try and Pond. And I'll try and shake him.
Pond, you are now sort of looking at this weird interaction where the hostility coming from your tribe is... What are you thinking about their feelings towards you in this moment? I'll ask you that.
It hurts, but it's not unexpected. He left without telling anyone. He was really he had fully intended on full separation, never intended on coming back, so it hurts to see them again, but he's not surprised that they are so hostile towards him.
You see as now they are shouting in your direction. In your mind, you're trying to enjoy the pastry, but this ickiness within, whether you enjoy it or not, it just still goes from a very soft and pleasant experience to something crunchy and now weirdly juicy. But I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Wow, dirty 20.
And you look at all of them, and you hear in an echo, Pond? Quinn's voice push through slightly. And as the voice comes through, the audience members that are looking at Fiffin and your fellow tribe all freeze and look at your direction. Omen, 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 omen. Over and over again, your pastry stops being crunchy and now dissolves into sand. Your mouth is sort of full of it. Is the little one really the strongest? You hear a voice say.
Do you mean Quinn or Floor? Or me or Cheese? We're all so small.
I mean the creature enjoying a sweet treat. Pond, you choose to cast aside bloodline. For what?
For myself. And now for my friends.
But family runs deep.
I've learned that family isn't the most important thing. We are naturally toxic as creatures, but we don't need the relationships to be toxic as well.
This toxicity you speak of, I felt it. I felt it with one of my sons. I grew to care for the boy, but he aggravated me so. Fiffin, in this moment, you see the light shimmer and pulse, and you're still very much just trying to get rid of it. But first, I'm gonna need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
15 plus 3, 18.
And like a flash, you now perceive next to you Pond and Quinn. And that light now, as you focus, begins to take a humanoid-ish shape. And it seems like a very broad, taller figure in just a pure, beautiful white light. That as you focus on it, Quinn and Pond, you see Fiffin's eyes slightly shimmer out and almost reveal their true color. But just as Fiffin, as you're beginning to focus, from behind the creature, these tentacles emerge from the back. And now this almost like angelic figure carries this ominous look to it.
Still just trying to shield my eyes and not really even paying attention to this being that has made its form from the light. I would direct my attention to Pond and Quinn. Guys, do I notice that they seem to be interacting? I know Quinn was trying to wake up Pond. Do I notice that, or are they completely different in my reality?
For you, you're seeing Pond and Quinn almost like interacting but muted. You can't really make out what they're saying, but Pond is essentially behaving how he is in his moment. Quinn is like hysterically shaking in her moment. And to you, they're just all overlapping. They're all just layered images, but all sort of seemingly disconnected. And then you hear, if I were to ask you for a favor, Fiffin, truly a favor, do you think you could kill your friends for me?
Whoa, that was out of left field. No, what?
What if I hired you to make something for me that would allow you to, from behind the scenes, kill your friends for me? Would you do that?
Listen, I'm not gonna go into a project not knowing what the use is for, especially if I know it can be used for malice. I know what my things can do. I know the projects that I build. I know if they're gonna turn out to be weapons of some sorts. Trust me, I do that all the time with everything I make. Can I turn a wrench into a weapon? Have and will, yes. But if I sense any sort of harm behind the intentions of what you want me to make you, whether that's you or anyone else in town, you're getting kicked out of the treehouse.
I need you to make another Constitution saving throw for me.
That one.
If you were to make an item that would inflict harm upon others.
Oh, no!
What would that item look like?
Given that he's always up in the treehouse, the acorns from his tree would be ammunition for a makeshift firearm of sorts. Not obviously your metal pistol or your big long rifle, but almost an enhanced slingshot to increase the velocity of the things that are being shot from it.
When this voice says this, your hand instinctively raises. And it raises in the direction of Pond and Quinn. Quinn, I'm assuming you're still calling out to Pond.
If I notice that Fiffin is awake, I'll see if I can't talk to Fiffin, but if I don't notice he's awake, I'm just gonna try and get I just need these guys to be awake.
You look over to Fiffin, whose eyes were glimmering with a sense of recognition before, but now when you look up, his arm is just sort of raising in your direction.
Fiffin?
Pawn, now you hear, Fiffin? As the creatures and all of them are still staring at you. Omen, 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 omen. Cheese. You see this couple now, walking through similar streets. But now, as you walk with them, you hear, "We can't afford this. We'll be ruined. We barely have enough as it is. Please, just listen to me." The man speaking to the woman. The woman turns around holding the baby in hand. "And what do you want me to do? Huh? Give it up? This is our child." And he says, I don't mean give up this child. I mean, perhaps we can leave it somewhere until we land on our feet a little more. It would only be for a short time, but I'm scared. I've prayed night and day for a miracle to get us out of where we are." And you watch as she says, "And all that's gotten you is this." And she points over. Now you see a necklace with that similar O. You shoot back to the makeshift home with you and Marikar. "I just want to be able to protect you and protect myself and to have a life worth living." And you notice in the corner of the room there is this tall mirror on this beautiful pedestal, arms that are bolted down to the ground, the rotting wooden floors. And the mirror's cracked. And from the cracks, this white light begins to pierce through. And you watch as Marikar turns around, clutches her wrist where the O is. So Fiffin, as you hold up your hand, instinctively in your mind you see all the pieces coming together. You see the acorn getting ready and prepped, the slingshot drawing back. Looking at Quinn, you now can see her panicking, muted, shouting your direction. And just as you take it, and the firearm draws back the acorn, a white hand goes over yours, and that same voice now, you can now attach it to an entity of sorts, says, "I could make this real, you know. I can give you the power to unlock your mind in ways you've never imagined. So what do you say, son?"
I can't. That's just stolen ideas. I need to come up with everything myself. Where's the honor in that? Just getting handed success. Getting handed the plans to a life-changing invention. The fun part is thinking about it yourself. Challenging yourself.
The fun part is knowing you can. And you watch as the string draw back and shoots. I need you to roll to hit. Quinn.
Oh no!
It kind of sucks, but I rolled 2 nat 1s in a row, so this is another nat 1.
Hey!
Bestie!
Okay.
Bestie!
Should I get rid of these dice then? That's 2 nat 1s in a row, but one's a good thing.
I was gonna say that's a good net one.
What do I do with these?
When you're holding this firearm in the direction of Quinn, the acorn shifts into this like black red ball of ooze and almost like acid corroding itself. And from the acorn that is now this misshapen orb, these like slight little small tentacles, very similar to that of cheeses, begin to grab onto the weapon. And you fire. And it shoots at such a speed, you blink, and it passes through, missing Quinn and slamming into the ground behind. And as it lands on the ground, the tentacles grab onto the sides of the ground and begin to misshapenly form into what looks like a spider of sorts that then fizzles out and melts onto the ground. And for that, Fiffin, the voice says to you from behind, you are weak amongst this group. Quinn, you now can see Fiffin directly His eyes are slightly covered in white, but every now and then his right eye, you see it glow in that similar natural pattern that you've always seen his eyes to be. What do you do?
Did he just shoot something at me?
No, you didn't see anything.
I can't get a response from Pond, so I'll fly over to Fiffin. I'll, land on his horns and stomp at him and peck at him and fluff my little feathers in front of his eyes and... Fiffin! Fiffin, please!
You hear this, Fiffin, as Quinn now gets to you and her voice is muted at first, but then begins to sort of echo and reverb in the back of your mind until eventually becomes louder and louder and louder. You can perceive it. And she is there standing next to you.
Am I still holding the weapon?
No, there's nothing there.
With my arm outstretched, turn my hand over and shock out of it when I hear Quinn on the other side. You're okay? You're good?
Yes, are you?
I thought you weren't.
I didn't... You would... What happened? Are you alright?
I don't want to talk about it right now.
Okay. Pond, something's wrong with Pond and I don't know what cheese is.
Pond, you look now at us on the stage, pointing and laughing, Quinn and Fiffin. And one of the leaders of the Grung walk up to you and they place their hand on your shoulder. You know, life can be very disappointing. And in whichever way you choose to perceive us, your tribe, your family, I hope you remember one thing, Pond, and one thing clearly. We're always with you. You can never escape us.
Pond shrugs away from the hand. I know that life can be disappointing. The time that I spent living with the tribe burned that into me. And even if my friends are laughing at me or laughing with me, I've had a better time with them than I had with you.
So the creature casts off family. You watch as the Grung now sort of goes catatonic almost, and the voice comes out through the Grung and says, "So will you be our omen? Will you be the strongest out of all of us? What do you say, son?"
I've been hearing that word a lot, and I don't have a full understanding of what it means, but I don't think I'm going to be the strongest one. I'm here to support people. I'm here to boost up everyone else. I don't need to be the strongest. I don't want that.
Perhaps. Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
18.
Like fast visions before you, all of the Grung disappear and then appear for a brief moment. But you can hear the conversations of Quinn and Fiffin before you. Something's wrong with Pond, you can hear her speaking, and you can hear Fiffin very timidly speaking as well. But behind the two of them, towering, white glowing humanoid figure with these tentacles that are circling the very tops of their heads. One above Quinn, one above Fiffin, and then a third that rises over what you can see as this light individual, but the face towering over in your direction.
Guys, look out!
You both hear that.
You said he was gone. What?
I thought Pond? I thought he was. For what? Is there anything there if I turn around?
Turn around, there's nothing there.
Pond? You seeing things, bud?
I'm gonna cast a second level shatter behind them. It sounds like almost like deafening frog croak. Basically throwing my voice behind them to just blast out towards that thing.
Just croaking loud bassy sound shattering behind the two of you. You both take notice as the stage itself cracks and breaks all throughout. You find your footing, you're able to do so. You have to roll for that, or does the creature have to roll for a save?
It's a con save of 15.
Like a grunting deep sound. Like I said, the strongest amongst us all. You speak of family. You speak of trust. Let me show you how far that takes you. Cheese. As you're looking at the mirror, Markar looks up and she walks over and she just places her hand in the space and she goes, "If you can hear me," bewildering look to her eyes. "I am here. I can be a servant. I can be a follower. I can be something. If you show your light in my direction." The light from the cracks in the mirror grow brighter. "And whom do I have the pleasure of speaking with?" The same voice now that all of your fellow friends comes through. You watch as Markar, she gulps for a second. She's speaking to the songbird. "A lovely name. So what do you seek, sweet bird?" What are you doing, Cheese? As you essentially now see Markar standing in front of this mirror with this almost blinding light beginning to increase before her.
And I'm hearing that voice also?
You are. It's in the space. It's like almost shaking the walls.
Cheese is up, full alert. I think he's trying to wedge himself between the mirror and Markar, and he looks up at her. Markar, Mari, what is this? What is this voice?
Markar, with her hand still outstretched towards the mirror, she looks over to you. She goes, "It's a good omen. It's a good omen." And she begins to get closer and closer to the mirror. "I want protection. I want longevity. I want power. I want the ability to take down everyone that deserves it. And with that, my child, you shall have it." You watch as the light burst out from the mirror in this beautiful, ethereal, angelic light. And then you hear it. These black tentacles, very familiar to the ones that you have seen Markar use, now come out from the darkness and begin to wrap around her ankles. And they wrap around her hands. And you watch as her vision turns into white, pale eyes. What do you do?
I am lunging at those tentacles, jumping at the ones that are at her ankles, and I'm trying to rip them off of her.
Go ahead and roll an attack for me, with disadvantage.
Wow, a nat 1.
There is something instinctively within that doesn't want you to interact. That same energy that you possess, it's being shared in the space before you. And she looks over as she extends her hand and the tentacle wrap around her wrist and begin to pull her closer towards the mirror. And she goes, "Cheese, I can see him. I can see him, Cheese." Another tentacle wrap around the other arm and begin to draw her closer.
I think at this point, Cheese has given up on words. I think he's just barking now.
You start barking loudly. The room begins to shake as everything on tables, the papers fall from the walls, and you feel yourself almost like an earthquake, it seems. But the mirror stays still, drawing Markar closer and closer, until eventually one single tentacle pierces her chest. "You are mine now. Kill them for me. Take your place at my side." Tentacle draw back, everything lets go of her, and she stands there in the room. "I've never had a daughter, but I'm glad it's you." You now hear sounds of horse walking, a carriage being pulled of sorts, with the same human male at the reins. And inside, sleeping, the woman, the parents of Floor in Brandarium. And as they get to a very secluded part, they stop the carriage. The husband gets out, and the woman sleeping in the carriage doesn't take notice as he comes inside and grabs Floor and then begins to walk away from the carriage. As he does, he stands in the center of this glade and he looks all around. "I have prayed for you night and day. I have called you. Yet you revealed yourself once. Why won't you again?
Because you are weak. You lack any real power to do what needs to be done.
If I do this, I promise you, I'll devote myself to you. I will do what I have to. Just give him back at some point, please. Before this man, a towering humanoid white light appears. He watches the man go to bow down, lowers his head, holding floor, doesn't even look up, and says, I offer you this omen, in the hopes that you will give me and my wife an opportunity to raise him right. The humanoid figure that you can't make out its face, its mouth, or anything, stretch out a hand, and the wind picks up. The leaves all around begin to circle in the direction of the two of them, and the light being says, I promise no such thing, but I will take him. And you watch as the man look up for the first time, and the light now begins to turn black with red as the same 3 tentacles emerge. And then the light fades to reveal a Leonin. Very beautiful mane, this golden hair, strong snout, very muscular, and what looks like all black with slight trimmings of burgundy that adorn his clothing. The male looks over and he says, Good. Good for you. Standing proud, standing strong. The wind continues revolving around the space, sort of shaking everything up. A slight tremor to the ground begins to quake at your feet. And the woman comes out of the carriage. Ruckus, come back now. Bring me my child. The individual turns around and he goes, I can't. Yes, you can. Just turn around and please come back. And the man looks over and he goes, How dare you go back on your promise to me? I have been nothing but a devout servant. And the Leonin goes, You have. But this is more important to me. And he stretches out his hand again. I can't offer you anything really. But rest assured, when the time comes, I will reward you heavily. Cheese, what are you doing in this moment?
Cheese has also hopped out of the carriage, and he moves closer to hear better, but he doesn't want to be seen.
You continue passing through. Give me a stealth check.
18 on the die plus stealth. That's 24.
You're able to cling on to the very edges of some of the trees and bushes and plant life around, seemingly unseen. The male holding Floor clutches him closer to his chest, and the Leonin goes, You don't want to do that now. We had an agreement. And the man goes, You frighten me. Now, as you present yourself to me, you frighten me in a way that I wasn't... I'm sorry, I can't. The Leonin, You're sorry? I'm not. Takes out its claws and just slashes at the man's throat. You jump out, and as you do, Floor begins to fall, almost like in slow motion. Fiffin, Quinn, and Pon. What are the 3 of you doing in this stage now?
You said Cheese is gone. Where? How could he have gotten away so quick? I mean, we were so close.
I don't know. We were so close. We were all together. This isn't real. None of this is real. We're not here. We need to get punned and we need to snap out of it. That's what we need to do.
We absolutely do, because he has Floor.
Right. Okay. Pond. And I'll fly over to Pond.
Start trotting behind him.
Are you guys okay?
Are you?
I'm batting 1,000.
Is that good?
Yeah, I mean, bats, they catch so many bugs at night. I figure it's, a good night. Yeah.
So like a good night for a bat is like 1,000 gnats, or flies. What are bats?
Yeah, exactly.
Why are we talking about this? We need to get cheese.
Cheese. Do we just...
Where's cheese?
We have no clue.
I think it's where are we?
Do we just start the trek all over again? Do we head out of town? What do we do?
I saw it. I saw the thread. Can I see it? Like if I look around?
Make a concentration check for me.
So that's a 9.
I'm there panicking with you and just trying my best to figure out where Floor is, where we need to go, and you mentioned the thread. I will instantly pick up on that and just try to hone in on the thread, and I'll use my reaction for Flash of Genius for +4 to that roll.
13! Thank you, Fiffin.
It's something.
Can I do a reaction bardic inspiration to also add on to that?
Thanks, guys.
It's a D8.
It was a 13, and now it's a 14.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Seemingly, as you try to focus again, just missed it. You are aware that you are somehow in a dreamlike space. You're still holding on to the thread. You're probably still walking somewhere in that ethereal space. But for right now, no, this feels very, very real right now. But make a perception check for me.
19, 20, 21, 22.
From the corner of your eye, you see a familiar fairy fly through the space. In the distance, but you can see the wings and the color. It looks like Theric. And he seems to be flying in the direction to exit town.
I say we follow the ferry. And I'll just point him out to everyone.
What the heck is Theric doing here?
Do we have time to question it?
Nope. Let's go.
Cheese. What do you do as the individual goes to clutch his throat, lets go of Floor? Floor's falling in slow motion. The Leonin is still in full swing, and the wind and the space around you is now behaving in a very chaotic fashion. What do you do as you said that you jumped at that moment?
I bark, and I'm gonna cast Darkness on the Leonin where he is, and I'm gonna try and rush in to catch Floor before he hits the ground.
When the Leonin turns, their eyes get engulfed in like a black veil. And then you see Floor beginning to fall, just as the shrieking scream of the woman from the carriage, "Ruckus!" echoes in the space, and Floor continues to fall. And just as you're about to get to him, I'll ask you this. Did Marikar ever have a leash on you? Anything that would sort of be a standard way of behaving with a dog?
In the beginning, yes. As Cheese was getting better trained, he was off leash more frequently.
Your neck pulled as a leash wraps around your neck, pulled back, and Marikar standing there holding the leash. Do not stray from the path. As when Floor falls, the ground begins to shift and move, and this thick gray cloud permeates the space, and Floor seeps through. And then you come to. The Leonin stands there. The man falls to the ground and begins to bleed out. And the Leonin looks at you, Cheese. What are you? And begins to make its way slowly in your direction.
Cheese growls. You might be big and powerful, but anytime you touch the shadows, you've entered my domain. And I disappear. I shadow step away to charge at him.
You use the shadows in your favor as you inch closer in his direction. I'm gonna need you to roll initiative. As the rest of you are following Theric.
I'll call out to Theric to try and stop him as we're going. Theric!
Theric's still flying, doesn't seem to listen.
Can we see maybe what he's looking for?
Make a perception check.
24?
Towards the very entry archway of town, there's like a hooded figure that is hunched over, and you watch as Theric understand that that is who they're looking for. Pond, you look at this creature, and there's something very familiar about the way that they're standing. You can't really tell what it is until you look down at the feet coming out from the cloak, like hooves. And the creature turns around and you see Yermo, the fawn, holding Floor. Looks over at Theric, and they seem to whisper something. And Yermo hands over the baby to Theric, and Theric holds the baby, is speaking something. You just see their mouths move. You can't really hear what they're saying. You can just hear the fluttering, the space, the ambient sound around you, the stillness of town. And as Theric holds the baby, the fawn licks his thumb, bops the top of his head, and this little speckle of dust rain down on top of Theric. And Theric turns around to face you all, and Yermo vanishes. And Theric now sort of holds this baby and looks around. And now you can hear it. Hello? Is anybody around that can help me? Dum, dum. The ringing of the Tiempo's tree resonates. Give me another Constitution saving throw, Quinn.
19 on the die plus 5 is a 24. What?
The ringing resonates so loudly that it shakes you. You see it. You see the path. You're walking on the path now. You're no longer in town. And you're holding the golden thread. As you turn around, you see unaware but just mind-washed Pond and Fiffin holding on from behind, but no cheese.
Oh no. No Floor?
No Floor.
Oh no. I'm gonna try and pull the thread or try and get them to so that they are also holding the thread. Like we're all connected via this thread now, and I want to just kind of close my eyes and just feel for where they are and try and pull them out that way. I'll just kind of make sure that they're in contact with the thread in some way. I'll land maybe on Fiffin's shoulder and address both of them, and I'll just say, I don't ask for help, but I need your help. I need you both to come back, please.
Make a persuasion check. Pond and Fiffin, I need you guys to make Constitution saving throws.
And since they're within 10 feet of me, my aura of protection will give them a +1 to saving throws.
Ooh, okay.
It's like I'm a paladin or something, guys.
I'm going to use my inspiration on that.
Oh, you know what? I got that too, Panny.
Guys!
Dog, I rolled a 6 the first time, so I really...
funny. I rolled a 6 the second time.
Guys.
Yeah, no, I got a 9 the second time. With bonuses, it's 12.
I have a 10. Oh, plus 1, 11.
I got a 17 on my persuasion.
Roll a d4 for me.
That is a 2.
What did you roll, Pond?
12.
Now it's 14. Fiffin, now it's a 13. Still not enough.
Ugh.
You guys hear Quinn's voice echo through, but now she's not here. Now it's just the two of you watching Theric fly Floor, almost like in a spell, just completely unaware of his surroundings. He seems very lost and confused, but now the town is alive. There are now people and creatures and individuals that you've seen before inhabiting the space. It now just seems like a normal day. It seems like you are watching this moment in time.
Did Quinn just fly way too far ahead? Wasn't she here a second ago?
Forget Quinn for a moment. We need to get Floor. And can I cast Mage Hand to try and grab Theric's foot or something?
You released Mage Hand, and it goes, and just as it gets to Theric, passes through.
He's a ghost.
He's a ghost, or your hand's a ghost?
Him both?
I'll ask you this, Pawn. When you cast spells, is there anything physically that happens to you and your body?
You might see like a rumble in the throat because usually it's accompanied by music or sound or even just a frog noise. So usually, like if I do the magic form of Mage Hand, you'd see him like plucking the strings of the lyre on his hip. But right now it's just like the vibration in the throat. It's subtle.
That's what you hear, Quinn. In your current space, in the path that you're walking with the golden thread, you hear that low, reverberating, croaking kind of sound coming from Pond. And you see almost as his body is like trying to slightly move, but it can't. Cheese, what did you roll?
I rolled a 1 plus 3 for 4 on the initiative. I got this D20 from Sin. Our very own Zue gave me this dice.
No.
I can't believe they would do this to me.
Yeah, you're going to have to throw that one right out.
Right out.
The Leonin rushes over to you. And as it does, out of nowhere, it produces what looks like a short sword and goes to attack you. 13 plus 4, 17 to hit.
That is exactly my armor class.
You're going to take 5 points of piercing damage as the short sword slashes at you.
What are you?
What have you done with Floor?
You hear a slight like almost like a crying sound. Quinn, you hear it too, coming straight ahead where the thread is pulling you. You're up, Cheese.
I dive into his shadow, and then I pop back out to make a strike on him in Corgi Flail form. I get advantage if I make an attack after teleporting, I realize. That is 14 plus 6, that's a dirty 20. Second attack would be 21.
Both hit.
Both of those attacks, total only 9. And then when I land, I take off into the tree line.
Back to you three. Quinn, you're separate from the two of them. Pon and Fiffin, what are you guys doing?
Okay, well, if we can't touch Theric, does that mean Floor isn't real either?
I guess. Did Quinn say that this wasn't real?
She mentioned something about this being fake.
What does that mean? What does that mean? How could... where did... well, now where did she go?
I have no idea. I thought she just flew ahead, and then I turned around, and now the whole town's bustling.
Can we see where Quinn went, or anything like that?
Make a perception check for me.
21.
Just flying above in her usual patrolling pattern, you see Quinn.
Huh. Well, okay, she's up there.
Oh, I should have known to look to the skies.
Did you see Guillermo earlier?
Who was that again?
A guy with the hooves?
Oh, the one kind of like me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, well, he handed Theric Floor.
Oh.
Like that looked like who Theric was looking for. Why would Guillermo have Floor in the first place?
He's been seeming kind of creepy, suspicious, curious. He's very interested in Floor, and I sense a deeper connection than we really know from Guillermo. Theric, back in the tree, said that he wasn't even sure where he got the baby from. He just had to go to town and drop it off. He didn't have a reason for doing so, if I remember correctly.
Oh, man. There's a lot going on. We gotta find Cheese, and we need to get Quinn back down here.
Oh! I know how to get Quinn down here! And I smack my wrist and activate the alarm spell.
What does the alarm sound like?
It is the very typical, very obnoxious, like, the horrible car alarm you hear outside your window at 3 a.m. that just won't shut up. That's what it is when he slaps the bark gauntlet.
Quinn, as you're in the stillness of this and you hear the crying, Fiffin's gauntlet shines. You hear the alarm sound blasting now in this space, and to you, Fiffin, in town, the alarm is sounding off, seemingly with no response from Quinn.
Okay, usually she's here after the first buzz. Something's wrong.
Do I hear that outside of town?
You do? Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my god.
But Fiffin, you notice no response. You feel very lethargic for like a second.
No!
There's something that comes over you that makes you feel very drained of energy. Like just that spell alone, as simple as it was, it just like you feel it draining you. Your maximum hit points decreases by 5.
Whoa! Oh, chill.
16 I rolled.
Quinn, what are you doing as you hear this alarm going off?
This sequence of events that just happened is insane. She was like knocked out of it, and then Pons started croaking, and then the baby started crying, and now the alarm is going off, and like Quinn knows that she can't pull them out. They can't seem to get it out themselves. She doesn't know where Cheese is. She doesn't know where Floor is. She knows that they need her help, and the only avenue she knows how to take now is to get this person who was talking to her. She's going to try and get up above the tree line and see if she can see anything, or if it's all just the fog.
To you, you are in this Cosmo-like deep space with floating islands and a golden thread that's pulling you. That's all that you see, but you notice that the fog around you is no longer very present in the space. It is sort of pushing back.
Like it's going away?
Seemingly.
Okay, Quinn is going to call out to the space around her. This thing that's been talking to her has no form, it has no shape, it has no anything but its presence. So she's going to try and talk to it, and she's going to say, "You wanted to talk."
Make a persuasion check.
That's a 7.
Cheese, as you hide away, far away from the Leonin, you watch just a short sword shift in this like black reddish ichor and transform into a javelin that then he clutches and throws in your direction.
Can't touch me.
21 to hit.
Super touches me.
7 points of piercing damage.
Goo.
And then your turn.
As soon as I hit the tree line, I dive into the shadow of a bush and I teleport back to him again. First attack is gonna hit. It's a 19 on the die. The second attack is another 19, 2 25s, 13. Let's burn some key points though, why not? To make one of those a stunning strike if we could. Probably not gonna happen, but he's gotta beat a con save of 13.
It's a 19 plus 1. But as you do this, tell me how you take down this creature.
Oh,
Whoa, really?
I don't trust that. I don't trust it.
I don't want to kill him. When I appear in front of him again, it's more at the arm. And I'm yanking and tugging and gnashing away at his arm to drop whatever weapon he's doing and try and bring him to the ground, just to subdue him.
You hold on to his arm. As he screams and shouts, you watch as he sort of like loosens his grip and just screams in your direction. As you're biting, you feel tearing through. You feel like you're really finding a weakness. And from all the screaming, I would have never thought you and the other creature were the strongest.
What are you talking about?
This black veil comes over you and the Leonin, and you now find yourself in a circle amongst the sea of stars. And in the distance, you can see this golden thread leading to the very center of the circle which you stand in that looks like stained glass. But the image is that of this white-light humanoid creature, and then this purple one with what looks like perhaps horns at a yin-yang with one another. And then you also now hear, Cheese, bam, 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 the alarm as Quinn, when you say that, Pond, you wake up and you look over as this white hand now reaches over to Quinn's face. I am willing to talk with you. Fiffin, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh, Pond's gone now too. Quinn is circling the skies and not coming to the alarm, and that is when the panic sets in. I'm gonna try to throw a pebble at Quinn in the sky first. That's what I'm gonna do.
You look over, you see Theric carrying the baby. You look over at the sky, you grab a pebble and you fling it over. Make an attack for me.
18 on the die.
The pebble shoots straight towards Quinn. And as it keeps flying upward, you hear like a almost like a dome-like cover to town. And then you hear, very familiar,
Hey, Fiffin, you want to help me out?
but you hear you respond.
Oh.
Oh, sure. The same thing as episode 1.
Wait, no, I don't want to fix this door again.
But you see it now, how in that moment when you looked away, Theric flies by you, but you don't notice. Carrying Floor, but hiding in the trees, getting closer and closer. Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
6.
Your max hit points go down by 3. Pond, you awake to see this hand reaching out to Quinn. Quinn, you're staring out into nothing, but you don't see this hand reaching towards you. But you hear the, I will speak with you. Cheese, you can still hear the alarm. It basically sounds like your friends are not too far away if you just follow the golden thread. But to your right, in a stone-like throne, we're at the very top of it, almost like two stars colliding, eternally circling one another. Sitting on this throne is Floor. Still encased in the jasper, but now its face a little bit more open and he's crying. What are Pond and Cheese doing?
Yelling again. Get away from her! And it's another shatter at the hand that's coming out.
Roll damage for that.
18 thunder damage.
As the hand goes to reach for Quinn, these long fingers stretch out over her small head. There is a ferocious way in which this hand is trying to grab onto Quinn, and you hear the same shattering noise as the hand coils back. Quinn, you look down and you see Pond awake, looking over in your direction.
I shoot down. If I see that any of them are awake, I'm gonna shoot right down.
And Cheese, what are you doing?
Was there anything around Floor, or was it just Floor on this throne?
Floor on this throne.
I know I could hear the alarm, but can I see anything that's happening further down the golden thread?
Not from where you currently are, but it sounds fairly close. It is slightly obstructed by the remaining fog that is clouding your vision.
I'll go up to Floor. I sort of parallel park next to the throne. Floor, get in. Can you walk? I don't know if babies can do that.
Cheese!
Whoa, you're talking a lot.
You're in danger!
Full sentences.
From behind you, you hear... And from the ground, this fog begins to be pulled from the land around and begins to take shape.
I always knew that the smallest would always be.
And it begins to take form into that of that same lone, but now more muscular. And instead of seeing the fur and the mane, you see this acid-like black ichor with this reddish white light coming from within. As it begins to take shape and the floor around it begin to almost bubble in the space.
But I never thought it would be from you.
And looks over to you, Cheese, as Floor continues to cry, and the figure now stands towering in your direction. Fiffin, make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Come on, Fiffin!
Fiffin's brain is going a mile a minute. Quinn is circling, not responding. Pond was here and now is gone. Theric is carrying away Floor, while past me is trying to fix a door. And it's kind of coming to the realization that Theric was in town when we first decided to leave for the festival. 5.
Pick a better number.
And you're totally cool with it. You're like, this is awesome.
And this is my life, you know? It's the hectic nature of the job.
And your max goes down by 2.
You're not gonna have any hit points left.
I'm just gonna die before I get to y'all. Sorry.
Yeah, not by damage,
Yes.
just by your max hit points.
My brain
Slowly
just
chipping away.
exploding.
Quinn, you shoot down to Pond, as Pond is essentially there and the alarm and everything's ringing. But then from the distance, you now, as the fog clears, because it's beginning to center around this circle-like space with the stained glass design. It's all coming through. You hear the cries of Floor, as from the distance you can see Cheese, Floor, and this towering figure that's beginning to shape in front of them. What do you do?
Pond, are you alright?
I think so.
Stay here. Stay with Fiffin. I'm going to go get Cheese.
Are you sure? Okay. Yell if you need help. I know you can do it. Bring back our friend. I'll give you a bardic inspiration.
I'll hold out the thread.
Hold on to this. Do not let it go.
Quinn is gonna hold on to it for just like a couple seconds after Pond has gripped it as like a moment of connection. Like, I know that I can't touch you, but I am with you, before letting go. And then she's gonna zoom off to go kill this slime lion.
So you shoot over. From the darkness, creeping closer, you begin to hear both the flapping of Quinn's wings, but also you would know very well that it is her coming in your direction.
He's gonna shadow step out of the cab. He is going to flail lunge at the still forming creature. 17 on the first attack, but a nat 20 on the second one.
Work. I'll say too, Quinn is just gonna fly, and if she sees Cheese attacking and Floor on the throne, she's just gonna try and swoop by and like kind of scoop him off the throne into the cab, so we're ready to dip when Cheese comes back unharmed from attacking this guy.
17 does not hit. Nat 20 does hit.
6 plus 6 plus 3. 15.
15, okay.
I'm going to run back, circle back behind the throne, going hit and run strikes here.
On that first hit, there's like a loud roar that comes from this creature as the Leonin coils back, and you watch as its arm stretch out, and from its normal humanoid size, it grows a little bit more. And as it does, its forearm bulk out, and you watch as its hands crack as the fingers and the bones almost like snap in place. And as he comes back from the hit, he lands on all fours in a very almost like primal-like, ape-like stance. You watch as his jaw come out of the black ichor into this darker brown, burned, charred fur, and the jaw snaps as these teeth begin to protrude outward in a massive underbite with these 2 long teeth. And the eyes, as they emerge, they go jet black and then multiply in rows heading into its back. And there, as you coil back, in its fur, right by where you hit it, you see this small, rectangular-like, glowing piece that then, with one of the arms, it takes it, as the arm then splits in 2. And then from the other, 2 other arms split. And I'm gonna need you to roll initiative. Same with you, Quinn.
Oh my gosh.
Fiffin, make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Come
With
on,
your
buddy.
remaining hit points.
All 3 of them.
I switched to the OG Fiffin dice. That's a nat 20. There we go.
Hey,
All right.
It was sighting there. It was waiting for you.
Oh my god.
Button.
Put me in, coach. I got a 20 on deck.
So then Fiffin, in that moment, amongst all the confusion and everything happening, you catch one last glance at town before you begin to hear like sound rumbling and thundering, this commotion of sound that is not at all from what you're visually seeing. And then Pond, you sort of feel the rope shake slightly as Fiffin, you emerge and you wake up.
Oh my god.
Oh, thank goodness.
There it is. I was looking for this rope.
You look thin. Are you okay?
I feel so sick.
Great. We have to go fight a monster.
Great timing. Let's go.
You hear from the distance rumbling.
How?
Maybe they've got it, actually.
Yeah, can we just chill? Like,
No, we have to go.
I was afraid you'd say that.
Pond and Fiffin, you guys run over. Let me take initiative for Cheese and Quinn first.
I got a 17.
5.
So then the creature is gonna go first. Quinn, you are on top of
By the cab.
by the cab. So then it's gonna go towards you.
I mean, actually.
So then what it's going to do is, as you're flying towards the carriage and you're getting closer, you watch as the creature, who no longer resembles that of a Leonin, but still has a similar sort of like animalistic traits, takes its front 2 arms, slams them down onto the ground, coil back, and begins to charge at you. And it is going to do a slam attack against you. It is going to use the slam attack by charging. 22?
Yeah, it's.
So you take 31 points of bludgeoning damage as when you go to coast right over the creature, it slams into you. And as you fly out, you feel your entire self ache with pain. And I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh boy. That's a 10.
Perfect.
Oh no. Oh.
You shoot out 20 feet from where you currently are. And as you shoot, you then begin to fall into the empty void of space. What are you doing on your turn since you're the next?
Can I flap? Can I try and get my bearings a little bit? I'll just tuck my wings in to kind of get my sense of direction, and then I'll try and...
Right now, you are about 30 feet away from where this creature is.
Okay, I'll use that 30 feet and fly back.
You shoot up.
As I'm flying back, I'm going to get my momentum as I get the first 15 or so feet, and then I'm just gonna tuck my wings into myself the last 5 feet, and as I kind of shoot toward him, I'm gonna cast Moonbeam at 2nd level. Just kind of concentrate my energy on where he's at, and right before I hit him, I'm gonna shoot up, and as I crank up, that energy comes down from the sky and just to center onto him. And that's a con save on his part.
22.
Well, that saves. But he takes half damage still, which is 2d10. Okay, that's 9. Radiant.
You shoot up. You see as the stars align and the moon itself presents, and it shines a light over the space. And as you shoot up, you see almost what looks like a woman in a very beautiful shimmering silver dress stretch out her hand to you. And as you shoot up and make eye contact with her, whoosh, this moonbeam shoots down on the creature, engulfs it in light, and it shakes it off and shrugs and continues to look around. Cheese, you're up, and then Fiffin and Pond, I'm gonna need you guys to tell me what you guys are doing. Cheese.
Quinn, where are you all? Yelling, trying to catch up with Quinn, make sure. Is everybody else all right?
Everyone's fine. We kill him. We need to kill him.
Okay, yeah. All right, so I swing back around the other side of the throne. I'm gonna run 30 feet, shadow step back to him for 2 more attacks. So that first attack is a 13, that's not gonna hit. Also a 13. And then I'm going to... Heck, I'm gonna flurry of blows. What was the point of the key if I'm not gonna use it now? A nat 1! And then an 11. Just a string of the worst possible attacks. And then I'm going to click the heels on the boots that our dear Fiffin gave me. The way I've been kind of imagining it is you know how when a jet breaks a sound barrier and there's that cone and that crack? When I click the boots, that crack and the cone happens and I misty step 30 feet away. And then I'm gonna use the rest of my movement to get up to 60 feet away again.
Break through the sound barrier as you fly past this creature. The creature turns over in your direction as you zoom past it. Fiffin and Pond.
Before you go in, let me try something. Maybe it'll make it easier for you. And I throw 2 little clamps at Pond that just kind of stick in his skin. And on the back of the bark gauntlet, the green gem is glowing profusely. And like a dial, I just crank it clockwise as I'm going to cast Enlarge on Pond.
Ooh.
So, Pond, you double your size in all dimensions, and your weight is multiplied by 8.
You're just a regular sized dude now.
Yeah, like I'm just a man.
Just to help you not get squished. Until this spell ends, you have advantage on strength checks and saving throws. The target's weapons also grow to match the size, so any attacks you deal with those weapons will deal an extra 1d4.
Wow, I sound normal now.
Whoa, Pond!
Thank you.
Maybe this is helpful. Pond's going to make this low pitched. I don't know if you've ever seen the episode of South Park where they mention the brown note.
The brown nose?
But it is basically that. And I'm trying to make it loud enough and piercing enough for the monster to hear it as I cast Rowlathim's Psychic Lance. I need an intelligence save of 15 from the monster, please.
Pond, you let go of this note. Yeah, no, that's an 8.
Hell yes! So, on a failed save, it takes 7d6 of damage
Oh my god.
and is incapacitated.
Go ahead and roll that for me.
25 psychic damage.
As this reverberating noise all around shake the ground beneath you, the cosmos themselves. Now, all around you, the stars begin to spin, spinning faster and faster as the creature roars out loud, smashes the ground, and then just finds itself. And in that moment, Floor goes, "Yay!" You guys level up.
Oh.
And that is the end of this episode.
What? Whoa. Oh my god.
Thank you all so much for listening. Catch us in 2 weeks where, oh boy, we'll see if this level up helps our party.